Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw of Biocon is now with us. Interesting news which we just told you regarding the pact with Serum, or the new pact with Serum, which involves an additional $150 million of investment by Serum into Biocon Biologics. Kiran, thanks so much for taking our time for us. Could you just talk to us about this deal? Earlier, it was happening via a loan, but now the company has decided to convert it into equity.
Yeah, I think Serum is very keen to have a stake in BBL or Biocon Biologics, and of course they were awaiting their court approval, NCLT approval for the original deal that we had struck with them. But since the long stop date had expired, they decided that they would actually convert their 150 million loan into equity, and we would restructure the original thought process.
So, ma'am, as per the earlier stake, 15% was going to come through them for $150 million of a backward integration. Now, with 300 million, what stake comes in? That's not mentioned in the press release.
No, I think originally the 15% stake was tied to vaccines. Now this stake is a clean deal in terms of investment. So I think the average investment, I think that level that Serum will basically be investing at is at $6 billion.
$6 billion.
Yeah.
Right. So the earlier deal was about $4 billion, or the earlier valuation was 4. So it's now been upticked to 6 overall. That's because of the time and, of course, the progress that the company has made.
Yes, but I don't think you should link the two, because the first deal was struck many, many years ago, if you remember, 2 years ago. And this deal is now announced as the clean stake private equity investment. So I would not really link the two in that sense. But yes, the valuation is at 6 billion.
Kiran, hi, this is Anish also joining into the conversation. Will Serum also be participating in some way in terms of the management of the BBL business, because they're keen to have a stake? Will they be participating with management and operations as well?
No, there was no understanding to have operational involvement, but we had offered a board seat, and that will remain, and it is for Serum to exercise that offer.
Okay. Right. Ma'am, could you also just talk to us about the new arrangement regarding 100 million vaccines that has been mentioned in the press release? What does it essentially mean? Because I understand earlier also you all were going to get rights. Does this include much more than what was there earlier?
No, actually, if you remember, the original deal was linked to 100 million doses of vaccine. So that access to 100 million doses of vaccines remains. Obviously, the access to vaccines is not just about COVID vaccines, which, as you know, is waning in terms of demand, but it's about other vaccines that are in their portfolio, both present and future. And I think that's what we will still have access to in terms of commercializing such vaccines.
Kiran, what would these funds be used for, the the additional funds which are coming in, and should we expect more such rounds of fundraising or investment by Serum going forward into the company?
Well, as you know, the acquisition debt obviously gets addressed through equity raise. And this is an important equity raise, because it means that Serum would have invested $300 million into Biocon Biologics. And we have, already announced the Kotak, fundraise. So we will be looking at additional fundraisers to basically further reduce the acquisition debt. But, we will do it in a very thoughtful way, so that it doesn't really impact us in terms of, the overall equity valuations and things like that. So I think that's what we are looking at.
Kiran, with respect to the debt as well, any target in mind as to what you want to reduce it to? What's the timeline?
Look, right now we are very comfortable in terms of servicing our debt, but we would like to reduce the debt, to a slightly lower level, so that it gives us an absolute comfort level in terms of our ability to generate much higher EBITDA.
Can you just give us a sense, Kiran, as to what that would be in terms of generating higher EBITDA, what you're targeting?
Well, right now we have an EBITDA that comfortably services debt, but as you know, it's always prudent to be able to generate extra EBITDA for other opportunities or to expand our R&D pipeline even further. So I think that's the way we are looking at it, saying that it's okay, we are able to service the debt right now, but it would give us comfort if we had a little more, leg room to do more things.
Okay, and Kiran, could you just update us with respect to the new launches which are lined up for BBL Humira as well as Espart, if I'm pronouncing it right? What's the pipeline looking like? What's the timeline for these approvals and launches?
Well, as you know, the adalimumab or the biosimilar Humira launch is being planned for July this year, and I think all eyes are waiting for that launch from us and others. So I think that's something which we are very, very focused on. As far as Aspart is concerned, we have submitted our responses to the US FDA. We're awaiting a response from them in terms of when the approval is likely to come through. So I think we don't have any optics on that as yet. But hopefully it will happen sooner than later.